Good morning, good evening. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this monthly 30 minutes product tour that we host. It's a pleasure. I'm dialing in today from our WeWork office in Brussels. So the goal of today is really to give a deep dive into the solution we built. Today, Trusted Family, we work with over 210, 215 enterprising families across the world in 27 different countries. We focus all of our attention and development on supporting the needs of enterprising families. And we really do today three services that we offer to our customers. There's what we call the family operating system, which is the technology I'll share today, which will be the focus for today, which is a presentation of and a demo of the platform, right? And you'll see there's a lot of features that we've built throughout the years on the application that really helps families to not just communicate, but also better operate and work together as a family. So that's the platform, the family operating system. It's very important. We've learned over the years that, the platform is at the end just a tool. What's extremely important is to make sure we couple and support the software in the best possible way for the clients that we work with, right? So we have what we call the family success departments, where we have different client managers whose role is really to help onboard our clients in the best possible way and tailor the application to the needs of the clients. Once you've spoken to one family office, you just know one family office, and it is true, right? The success of our application really lies in the way that we structure it for the needs of each client, the way we tailor it, the way, and really listening to what are the main priorities that your family has to solve is essential for us to be able to tailor the platform, tailor experience on the application to make it a success, that it be for the family office, that it be for the next generation, that it be for the shareholders or different stakeholders. Again, each family has different priorities, and our family success team will be there to handhold you throughout this journey in order to launch and create a platform that really fits the requirements you have. So that's the family success department that's coupled with the family operating system. And then the final piece we've been adding over the years to our service offering is the family community. We are fortunate to be working with some of the most inspiring families across the globe who do amazing things on so many different topics. And we have different offerings from a TF Connect community where clients on a monthly basis get together to learn about different topics. We did one with the chairs of the Family Council, for instance, that were all together in a Zoom conversation, exchanging best practices, ideas to learn from one another. We're launching a community also. We launched a community also for the family offices or the administrators managing the platforms, managing the communication, and often the operations for the family to get together to learn from one another. Extremely valuable. We did one recently on the importance of or on how to enroll or not in-laws in your family or non-shareholders, a topic that's top of mind for a lot of our clients in this transitioning phase in succession plannings. And so it's very interesting to understand how certain families engage or not with the in-laws. There's no right or wrong answer. It's basically a community to help learn from some of the most inspiring and amazing families, as I said, around the world. So those are the three service offerings for Trusted Family. Happy to share more about the family success, the family community, and questions, or reach out to me via email or via LinkedIn. But today's focus is on the application. So with no further ado, let me go and share a tour of our product. As I said when I started the presentation, the product needs to be tailored to the needs that you have for your family. We work with very different families. We work with families where they're in the second generation, have around 5 shareholders, and they need to start organizing the succession and the transmission. And that's why they sign up to Trusted Family, to help start organizing their governance online. And on the contrary, we have families that have been there. I think the longest is the 11th or 12th generation. and the structure's there. They have a professional working environment, and they need to use the software really to help them better operate, better organize meetings, family assemblies, and others. So depending on your need, who you are in this meeting, and your family you work with or you are from, you will have different requirements, and that's why I'm happy to follow up in a tailored conversation to understand better your needs and how the platform can work for your own respective families. So welcome to Trusted Family. I'll be sharing a demonstration of the Wayne Family Office platform here, where there are two main sections when you look at the left-hand banner that are important, right? There's everything from a personal standpoint, and then there are all the spaces that you belong to in the context of your family. And this is extremely important and unique about Trusted Family, right? Is in the family business world, we always talk about the three-circle model in family enterprises, right? And very few mainstream platforms or platforms in general go into such detail in terms of permissions and access rights than Trusted Family when it comes to whom do you want to communicate, with whom do you want to communicate, when do you want to communicate, what type of information. And it's very important, right? That you work or not for the business, that you are a shareholder or not, that you're an external stakeholders. Depending on your role in the family, you will or not see certain of these spaces. And these spaces, of course, will be customized and different for each family. But let me first go into your personal settings, right? So your personal settings, again, will be different. You have in the middle of the news feed, the further you scroll down, the latest information has been in the spaces that you belong to, the founding stories, etc. We have a native iOS and a native Android application, right? So you'll receive notifications here on your mobile app when something is shared with you. We also have a chat where you can start having conversations with the family. You can start having conversations with the shareholders or the spaces that you have access to. One of the main use features on our platforms is calendars, right? And it's not just, and this is an important, you can synchronize this calendar with your own personal calendars, Outlook, Google calendars, Apple calendars, and others, depending on what you use. But this is one of the most used features on our application today, because helping families prepare for meetings, run their meetings, and following up their meetings is one of the biggest challenges in families, right? You don't choose the family people with whom you want to work with. And so it's very important to, smoothen the process, make sure there's accountability, and facilitate the reporting of all these information that are being shared during meetings, right? So if you have a shareholder meeting, you can, add the location of the meeting if it's a physical one. You can add a conference links detail if you have a Zoom or Teams link. And then you have all the event items, right, that you can upload to a meeting. So in here, you can upload surveys, you can upload documents, files. We've done integrations, which we call a bridge, to Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive, and many others to help you really also use the tools out there from a collaboration standpoint. But we also have an article editor here where you can add agenda items, you can add notes from your meeting, you can even assign action items with due dates for when tasks are to be fulfilled in order to see when is your task due. And whenever you have a next meeting, it's really handy to be able to see and to have a single location where you see when the tasks, what tasks have been assigned to whom, and when these ones are due. So yeah, event packs, of course, extremely important. And then, of course, the next thing that's very important is the guest list, right? And what's also unique in our service offering here compared to many other mainstream applications is, we realize that a lot of board meetings, shareholder meetings, family assemblies, you so often need to invite guests to certain of these meetings, right? So you need to invite someone external to potentially one meeting, but you don't want to give him or her access to the entire Wayne shareholder space where they would have access to all the events, to all the files that were shared in that space, right? You just wanted to give them access to the content of this one meeting where they'll be involved. And for that, we have the possibility to invite certain family members or certain external advisors potentially as guests. You can just add their personal email to the invitation, add them, and as a guest, they'll only be able to see the contents and the information that's published on this meeting without giving access to the whole space and all the information that has been added onto the platform. So yeah, so we do a lot when it comes to organizing meetings, running meetings. You can very easily create an event, decide with whom you want to schedule the event for. We have date pickers similar to Doodle where people can vote on availabilities to find a time to speak and other very convenient features for when you need to work with families that are not necessarily in the operations and that have other day jobs, which is often the case in the context of a family. So meetings and events is very important. And you can see, of course, that every space has its own calendar, right? Here I'm in a shared calendar with a view of all the spaces I belong to. But if I just want to know when the events are for the family council, for instance, I just click on the family council space. I click on the events tab and I can see that here we have a next event scheduled in September. And this will be only the information for the family council that you'll be able to find here, right? And so again, the guest list, the files and information that you upload here, the location and the information linked to that event. Great. So that's on meetings and events. Now, something else which is extremely important to share with you today is there are two main ways of distributing information to your members on the platform. And depending on your persona, your role in the family, there might be certain aspects of how you use the platform that might be different. Let me first give you the context of a family member. He or she might have access to the family space where they can see the activities of that space here, the recent videos. They can interact by adding content, by adding comments, etc. You could see only for the family space the upcoming events, all the files that are visible for the family space, all the members. We also have a family tree where you can see how you're related to one another in the family tree. And you can customize the family tree also. These are linked to the member profiles. So all of that is handled on a per space basis, right? And again, as I said, if you are a member of the family council, you'll be able to see that space. If you're a member of the board, you'll be able to see that space. If you're not a member of those governance bodies, you will not even see them appear on the left-hand side. They are all secret and hidden space managed by certain administrators or what we call owners, right? And so permissions, again, are extremely important. On every space, you can define who are the owners of the space. And those are the ones who can define the rules of engagement within that space. Can everybody create content, for instance? Or do you only want certain information, events, or files to be uploaded by the owner because you want to give more control? So every space is extremely modular. For every space, you can decide, who can create events, as I said, who can upload files, etc., etc. You also have activity logs on a per space basis, extremely important to understand, how is the activity happening, who is connecting, and how are people engaging with your space that you are managing. So if I'm a member of the space, I'll be able to, as I said, interact there, view the information here, upload if I can information here. It's very easy to do so. Again, similar to the meetings and the events modules I was showing within a space, and in the file section, you can create documents, you can create surveys, you can upload all sorts of files, you can have integrations to third-party softwares that we've built in the application, and you can review all sorts of shareholder agreements or documents within the system. So that's one way of interacting with content that is being shared on the space. Now, if you're on the other side, you have, let's say, I'm taking the persona now of a family officer or a tax advisor or a legal advisor or an accountant for the family, right? And what's important for me is not to manage a specific governance entity. I don't need to manage the shareholders or the family or the board. I want to be able to share K1s or tax files or financial statements to each beneficiary, right? And for this concept, we have what we call a distribution. We have what we call a distribution vault, my private vault, and Vault Manager, right? And basically the Vault Manager, what he or she can do is go ahead and upload files in the personal vault of certain people they've been granted access, right? So if I'm an external tax advisor to Arno, I'll be able to upload documents, files, information here that will just be visible for myself, right? I'm the only one who have access to this folder, and I can see, my balance sheet, my tax returns, and all of that is visible here. I can have, I can add watermarking. We also have electronic signatures. So there's many tools here that we've built in where, I can add watermarking this way or prevent the download, etc. There's a lot of features we've built in the application, which helps the family officer, the secretaries, the external tax advisors or lawyers to really be able to engage with beneficiary by distributing secure files to them directly via the application rather than going through everything through emails and having people store their information across multiple locations, creating uncertainty when it comes to data security and privacy. And so that's from the view I have from me as a user, where I'll get a notification. I can see the latest information that's been shared with me. And as a Vault Manager, there's a centralized distribution section here where you can just go ahead, start uploading files and deciding to whom you want to distribute it. So here I have my financial reports for Q1. Again, I can view the document before sending it if I want to make sure everything's correct. Once I'm happy with it, I just hit on start distribution. I can add a message, hit distribute, and all the people who have access to this vault will receive this way the reports and in their private vaults. So that's another way to really distribute files. The biggest difference is a space will be shared with all the members who have access to that space versus a vault will be used a lot to distribute private documents to each beneficiary separately. And therefore the information will be only visible to him or her without giving access to all the members within a space. So moving on most of the features. So something that's extremely important also is statistics, right? Owning insight into the family, owning data into the family is paramount to understanding how the family operates, what are the interests, what generates traffic, why do people connect to the application. Our family success department spends a lot of time with our customers to assess, to analyze statistics, to try to see what works, what engages the rising generation, what engages the non-shareholders, what engages the shareholders, what type of content generates traffic on the website, right? And we spend a lot of time on a monthly or quarterly basis with our customers to understand this, right? The people who are engaging the most on the platform, well, can we give them more responsibility? Can we involve them on certain projects? Can we, and at the contrary, the ones that are engaging less, let's have someone in charge for picking up their phones, speaking to the family member, understanding what is it the family office can do to engage more with him or her. And the learnings we get out of these statistics is extremely valuable to help, support the family and help guide the family in the best possible way for them to ensure smooth transition across multiple generations or to help them work on some critical projects. Of course, search is paramount, right? I think, the best feedback I get from families that have been working with us for multiple years is when they come to me and say, that the generational success transition is happening extremely smoothly, or that the rising generation is really engaging with the family in a great way because, when they turn 16 or when they turn 18, they get invited to the platform. And there is one way of educating and onboarding the entire family that is aligned with everybody, right? You're no longer dependent on how one parent or another educates their children or informs their child with regards to the family or the business. Giving them access to a centralized place where all the information can be stored is extremely valuable to help onboard the family, right? And it's for me, it's the biggest mission for trusted families when you can smoothen the transition of generation, and when you can better onboard the family and help the family better operate because there's a professional way of working together as a family, and there's a centralized place where data can be stored, and data is an asset these days. A lot of businesses make a lot of profit when it comes to data management. And so, it's very important for the family office to be able to preserve their information, preserve their data, and preserve their legacy for future generations. Talking about data, I think it's important. We still have 5 minutes to talk a bit about security, right? I think first things first is, I can talk a lot about a lot of things, but the first thing is today, Trusted Family is owned by our family. So it's still the founding families of Trusted Family. There are also clients and users of the platform that are the owners of the company, right? And I think this is a very important in terms of, reassurance already. Something extremely important, is that in all contracts that we signed, we are not the owners of the data. You are the owner of your content. If after 1 year, 2 year, 10 years, you decide to stop working with us for any reason, we have the obligation to give back the data to you and to delete the information on our servers, right? So we cannot use your information, and that's also extremely important looking at other providers in the space. And then, so, that's contractually. I think, we also have a security committee that meets up on a monthly basis. We have a security company that we hire on an annual basis also to try to test our security, make a vulnerability report, and assess the encryption policies and try to hack into our systems to give us a vulnerability report. So we have penetration tests on an annual basis. We do some. Our clients penetrations on us also on an annual basis, and so it's paramount, right? You cannot just invest once in security and not invest on an ongoing basis. So that's very important. We also have two-factor authentication that can be enforced on all the users and much more, right? I think security layers can be different per family, and that's based on our conversations that we need to have to understand what does the family feel comfortable with when it comes to security. Should we enforce yes or no two-factor authentication on all the users, etc. Of course, our platform is in multiple languages, right? You can turn it in Spanish, German, French, Italian, Dutch, Arabic, etc., and have the platform automatically translated for the user. And I believe that is, a lot of the important information. We have a very robust, for the larger families that are dialing in, we also have a strong member directory that is extremely powerful because it lets you assess and judge and tailor the member profile to understand how is it or what is important in order to track, right? We have certain clients that have very strong education programs for their clients, and they need to know when certain family members do which certain classes and courses. And so you can easily tailor and add filters based on certain criteria that are important for the family council, So let me just, the role in their governance, are they financially acumen, whether the financial acumen maybe, or their governance role. And you can apply all these features and see, okay, what are the roles of everybody? What are certain traineeships that are missing on the profiles of certain members to keep managing this and updating this for the family. We also have a map view where you can see how where people are located. You can easily, if you're traveling, reach out to certain members in the family to meet with them and build the relationship with them, right? So very important for the larger families. This tends to be extremely valuable. And these are modules. If your family's not that big, let us know. Second generation families, they don't tend to use this member directory too much. So again, coming back to this topic and this importance of tailoring it for your family, right? Extremely important. So I see there's one question around pricing and a very important topic. We have 1 minute left. So pricing, again, depends on the complexities of your family and of the family office structure. We typically charge between $1,000 to $2,000 on an annual basis, on a monthly basis. So, between 10 and 25,000 based on the complexity of the family. So more than happy to, discuss pricing and to better understand the requirements and the needs that you have in order to tailor our pricing based on your requirements and your family structures. So thank you so much for taking the time. If, as I said, right, if you want to have discuss the platform further, if you want to have a more tailored conversation to understand our mobile app, to understand how our platform can really be structured and tailored to fit your specific needs, either myself or other colleagues based around the world are more than happy to have a call with you to answer any questions. So yeah, have a great day all. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for tuning in and looking forward to speaking again soon. Bye bye.